Hey everyone, welcome back to Break Take Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk about a few different things, but just getting right into it with the first one. As you can see, I have some Canadian silver dollars in front of you here, and I did have some more come in, and this is actually the first silver that has come in the new year. And I picked up 4 more of the Canadian silver dollars, and I'm just going to show them to you here. I picked up 2 more of the Charlottetown ones, the 1964. You can see those 2, and then I picked up 2 of the Voyagers. One is from 1955 and one is from 1965. And as you can see, there are 18 of these Canadian silver dollars on display here as it shows. And then if I were to add 2 more, that's usually about how much I put into the tubes, or the tubes that I have is holding the 20. But I'm using a Philharmonic tube. It's one of these. It's actually, it holds 20 of the Philharmonics, but just with the size of these Canadian silver dollars, I can actually stuff in 24. So I'm just going to add the other 2 that I got to make it 22 that goes in this tube. So I just need 2 more to completely fill it up. But yes, that is the Philharmonic tube that I have been using for the Canadian silver dollars. And I do have a couple more of these empty in reserve. So I do actually plan on stacking an entire tube of the Philharmonics this year. So that's the stacking part that is out of the way. And now I'm going to be going into the second part of the video. And I have seen with the way some of these have performed that not a lot of people like these videos, and I'm not making them to personally offend you or make you mad. Judging by some of the comments that I've received, that's what some people think. Again, not my intention, but with this channel, you guys all know that it's primarily stacking silver and gold. But I did mention last year that I was kind of sitting on the sidelines trying to, wait out those high premiums. I did spend a little bit of the money that I was saving on some fractional gold, but a lot of it I did just stack off to the side just as cash. So what I wanted to do with some of that money that I was saving, trying, not picking up the silver, I wanted to invest it a little bit. And, I have done a few videos in the past, 2 to be exact, and here's the account that I use. I use a thing called Wealthsimple. It's a Canadian app up here, and this is the personal account that I have right now. I mean, it's nothing to retire on, but I'm just trying to get things going here with my little small portfolio, and you can see some of the holdings that I have there. And so yes, getting into today's company, I believe it's the 3rd one that is going to be added to my personal portfolio here, and it is a company called GOLDMining Inc. Now, one thing I have to say is that they got very lucky with the naming there, that just having it called GOLDMining Inc., that's just, banner. I thought that would have been scooped up, well, but that's like having the name Kleenex. But yes, GOLDMining Inc., great name. And yes, one of the reasons why I am, choosing to partner with this company is because it does seem to be just like the perfect timing with everything that's going on in the gold sector right now. And I will be getting into that in the video, and there'll be plenty of visuals to go over it as well. It's just, kind of with the premiums on the silver and my stacking and all that, it's still on the back burner, and I'm still looking for other opportunities and investment things to invest in. And this one popped up just right at the right time, and it seems like it's a good time to be looking at getting into this before a lot of these catalysts that we're going to be talking about. Before a lot of those things kick in, it seems like it will be a good time to jump on this opportunity before it's too late. You know what I mean? You always want to buy in low, sell high. Well, this seems to be one of those situations where it's getting in before the big takeoff. And one of the first things that I look at, when I, sometimes get these emails, or if I'm just looking at investing in a company, is who's running it, the stuff like that. And I have a video here. It's a clip of the CEO and founder. His name is Amir Adnani, and he seems like a very, very smart individual. And the clip I'm going to show you here, it's with Rick Rule, and it just kind of goes into a little bit of his background. So yes, that was the quick little clip there of Amir Adnani.
Why don't we talk about your upbringing, how you came to North America, and how you think, your cultural background, your family background, and the experience of being an immigrant helped shape who you are as a human and as an investor?
Probably have to say that it's played two aspects of it have played a critical role. One is probably having born into a very entrepreneurial family. My father is an entrepreneur. Was in fact in Iran, where I was born in Tehran, was involved in a variety of businesses that he formed and developed. But having been born in Iran post-revolution, or just right before the revolution, but my childhood being during a time where you have the Iran-Iraq war, you have conflict, you have crisis, you have all sorts of issues, from shortages and rations around electricity and water to nightly air raids, courtesy of Baghdad at the time. All of this, I think, just makes you appreciate, can't take anything for granted. And to come from a background that was fostered around entrepreneurship, about appreciating every little bit that life can offer, to end up in Vancouver, Canada, a 150-year-old country, but Vancouver in itself really being a young multicultural city that, as you know very well, is the epicenter of junior resource business and being an entrepreneur in that sector. I think the linkage between an upbringing that I described, coupled with landing in a city that is really has all the necessary resources to help foster the interest of someone that wants to be in the junior resource business as an entrepreneur and doesn't take anything for granted.
And now to get into some of the reasons why, it might be a good idea to invest in the GOLDMining Inc. here. And one of the reasons why would be with the central banks. As we've been seeing, because the world's governments don't really trust the dollar, and we've been seeing more and more countries adding gold at a record rate. I actually just saw recently that India has been doing it. We all know China and Russia. They have all been loading up on the gold as well. Yeah, China is easily en route to surpass the U.S. as the biggest economy, and their gold reserves are tiny still, so they're still in accumulation mode with that gold. Another big thing as well is looking at the history, at least with in the 2000s. It seems like it would be normal, at least with what we've been seeing here, that 2022 will be a green year, because you can see on the far right column here, I'm just going to make that a bit bigger. You can see that there hasn't been 2 straight years, or 2 years in a row since 2000, where they've been in the red. So historically, it's things are saying that it should be a green year. And you can see since the start of the 2000s, there's only been 3 red years, and the entire span there, the average has been up 9.2%. So yes, looking into 2022, it does seem, if we're looking at the numbers and the averages here, it does look like it's going to be a green year. There's no guarantees with that, but just as I said, going off of recent history, it does seem to be looking like that will, if the trends continue, that will be the case. And also the next chart up here is going to show the new commodities cycle here. It's showing that the commodities sector is extremely cheap compared to the historical averages. And going into 2022, it looks very attractive. It looks like it's a prime time to jump in, with it being relatively cheap compared to those historical valuations. And I mean, as stackers, we all know that gold does retain its value too. And, looking at in 2022, if Q1 is hard for stocks because the Fed is tightening, there's another kind of historical thing that we can look at, that we could see a repeat of 2016, where the stock market was down, but gold it was explosive. Gold was up. And again, another thing I like looking at with these charts is looking back at other, bullish markets. And it does seem like the one that we are currently in is, if we're looking historically, is set for one last push. You can see all these other ones here from 42 to 46, 60 to 68. You see all the lines here. With this red one, we're just right over here with this red one, you can see where it says current bull market, that it does look like it is set for one last push, and we are all anxiously awaiting that to happen. And so there is that potential for another big upward, as it says there, one last push. And obviously I've been talking about gold in this video, but they do have a unique uranium project too. So on top of the massive gold portfolio, they also have this uranium project as well. It's called REA. The REA uranium project is owned by GOLDMining Inc. 75% is owned by them. So that is another sector that is set to take off as well. With a lot of people looking for that green energy, uranium is definitely set to explode alongside gold. So you guys have been talking about gold going up, and obviously there has to be some catalysts for reasons for that going up, and the biggest reason that I can see is with the rate hikes. They showed that the odds of a March 22 Fed rate hike has now jumped up to a record 42%, up from 26% 1 week ago and 10% 1 month ago. So it does seem to be imminent. The chances, the odds here keep going up and up. So it looks like in March that will be happening, or most likely is going to be happening. So historically, when the Federal Reserve raises rates from artificially low levels, gold rallies big time. And it shows that during the last 5 rate hike cycles from artificially low levels of less than 5%, gold on average has rallied by 195.25%. So yes, we will be seeing that, I believe, come March, that most likely a lot of things are pointing towards the rate hike. So they say historically that when that happens, gold tends to move up quite a bit. So like I had mentioned, this company sort of jumped off the page to me when I was reading through it. I said not a lot of these companies I will actually partner with, but I did like the look of this one, and particularly seeing that trend where 2022 following a red year, you rarely see gold in the red again. So it doesn't seem like much of a gamble or a risk to assume that it will be a green year as well. I mean, that's not a given, it's not guaranteed to happen, but with following those trends, it looks like we're going to be looking at another green year. And like I said, I do follow the physical side a lot more, so I have been seeing that the central banks and other different governments have been loading up on as much gold as they can get their hands on. So when you're seeing that action and everything from the central banks, it does tend to it does make you think that there is something that's bubbling with gold. It's just about to erupt, it seems. And with the gold mining stocks, if it's something that you're interested in, I do think that this GOLDMining Inc. will definitely be something that at least take a flyer on if you'd like, because that's something I'm going to do. I have left the ticker, for the stock ticker at the bottom of this video. I will leave it in the link down below for this video as well. But yes, that's just a little look into GOLDMining Inc. And as I said before, and obviously you guys have been watching this channel for a long time, primarily I'm into the stacking physical gold and silver, but as this channel has grown, I'm looking at some other different avenues of doing stuff with my money, and the investing side has popped up here and there. So unfortunately, like I said in the beginning, I do know that a lot of people dislike these types of videos, so I do appreciate you, especially if you're here to the very end. And yeah, I definitely think that if you're like me, that you're just getting into investing, I think that this is a good opportunity. And if you're a seasoned investor, then take a flyer on this one as well. But I'd like to hear from you in the comments if you have taken any of the advice that I have given before and picked up any of the companies that I have talked about previously, and if you were going to do the same on this one, if you're going to pick up the GOLDMining Inc. I would love to hear from you. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.